Can you tell us a little bit about the conversation you had with Liz Truss? I mean, is there any possibility still that negotiations can work through the problems of the protocol?
On our side, always this possibility exists, but today I have to say that we are seriously concerned that, as it seems, the UK government is embarking again on the unilateral path. We know that unilateral solutions cannot bring peace, stability and predictability to the Northern Ireland. So therefore, I would plea again that we should really sit at the table and negotiate in a good faith, because until now we've been presenting really wide-ranging proposals to tackle all practical issues I heard from the people in Northern Ireland, but there was no engagement, no action from the UK side, and therefore we are very concerned that now they seem that have already decided to go on the unilateral path.
What would that mean if they stop all the checks? I mean, most of the checks aren't taking place now. So the UK's position is, the single market still exists, there's no problems there. What would it mean if they do say this is going to be permanent?
To put it in a nutshell, this puts a huge question mark over the access of Northern Ireland to the single market. It put a huge question mark over all the arrangement. We've been working so hard to make sure that we would promote peace, stability and predictability on the island of Ireland without a hard border. And let's also remind ourselves that this was actually the proposition, the protocol we got from the UK government. So we delivered on negotiating it, approving it, ratifying it together, and now I think it's a time to deliver it, to show political will from the UK side that they want to actually implement the deal we just agreed 2 years ago.
Do you think this will impact Ireland's place in the single market? Because if there's no checks between GB and I, they have to go somewhere.
Of course, I mean, this is the issue, therefore we are so seriously concerned, because we don't think that Ireland, which anyway is already bearing so much burden from the Brexit, should assume additional problems and additional challenges. So therefore, the solution which we negotiated together had also the sequence that first we have to have orderly withdrawal. Part of it is, of course, the protocol on Ireland and Northern Ireland. And after orderly withdrawal, we are building on top of it the trade and cooperation agreement. But I'm just asking, what happens if you pull out the fundaments from under this very important TCA agreement? So it brings to the table a lot of questions, which I thought, together with our member states and European Parliament, we solved and resolved when we agreed and ratified withdrawal agreement, protocol and TCA.
So you're saying that Ireland, the Republic of Ireland's place in the EU single market could be at risk?
This is, of course, totally unacceptable for us, and I said we will do our utmost to protect the place of Ireland in the single market. It's simply not acceptable that in this case a third country would have impact on who are the members of the European Union or what position they have on the single market. So we'll do whatever it takes to protect the place of Ireland in the single market.
The EU is saying, that this is so extremely burdensome. We saw Conor Burns with his big, huge lump of paperwork in the US last night. That this is just completely unsustainable. Are they right in some way?
They are not right at all, because we didn't decide to go Brexit. They wanted to leave the single market, the customs union, to leave the European Union, and this is just the consequences of the Brexit the UK government has chosen to follow. And what we proposed is actually drastic reduction. We are proposing 80% cut if it comes to phytosanitary or sanitary controls, more than 50% cut in the customs procedure. But we do not have the reaction from the UK government. And I even suggested that we can get completely rid of SPS checks if the UK government would decide to go for the veterinary agreement with the European Union. Again, we just got no from London, and therefore we have to go through all these difficulties, because I think every country, every market on this planet just simply want to know what is coming to the market.
What can be the response now? The EU27 has to protect the single market. Will this result in a suspension of the trade and cooperation agreement?
This time, I think we just have to really appeal to the UK government to think again, because unilateral path will have only negative consequences for Northern Ireland, for relationship between UK and Ireland, and for the whole relationship between UK and the EU. And I think these days we see how important it is that Western democracies work together. I mean, we have a war in Ukraine, and therefore I'm just appealing to the UK government to return back to negotiating table, avoid unilateral action, and let's really find the solutions with the Northern Ireland people are waiting for.
But is the TCA, under question here? Because that was going to be the response if the Article 16 was triggered back in January. Is that back on the table?
We are going to discuss the concrete response measures once we see the concrete proposal from the UK government. Of course, we will look for all options, and we discuss this issue with our member states and the European Parliament.